Well, we 5 days into the new year, 2025, and one rapper has already been exposed for lying about his whole image and his penitentiary sentence and all that shit. Now, we gonna get into all that piece right there, but that ain't gonna be the focus of this video right here. The focus of this video is gonna be why he felt like he had to lie about his identity and his penitentiary sentence, even though he active, even though he with the shit, but he felt like he really had to lie. So let's get into this video real quick. So Lefty Gunplay is a rapper out of Southern California. He's on the come up right now. And, you know, I've done a video on him previously about him running off on some money from some Pueblo cats. You know, Colorado got their own little Lefty Gunplay coming out of Pueblo, right? But y'all can go check that video out right here if y'all want to go peep that one. But Lefty Gunplay, he been coming up. He was just on Kendrick's Lamar album. He didn't have a verse on it. He had a nice little hook, you know what I mean? But, you know, just to have your name on an album that big with an artist that big at this time, you know, it speaks big volumes, right? Kendrick had another SA rapper on there, Peso. I thought he came way harder than Lefty Gunplay. I don't know why he don't be getting the recognition like Lefty Gunplay, but I think he way harder, but that's a whole nother conversation. But seen this video yesterday when I was on YouTube and I was thumbing through, you know, like I always do. I thumb through YouTube, see what the news is, see what everybody talking about, what the topics is. And lately, you know, that shit just been bullshit to me though, personally. I'm like, you know, there really ain't too much to commentate on. I surely ain't gonna be commentating on no Whack 100 or no Compton Rick Rock beef, none of that type of shit. I'm cool on that. That's the world stage at its finest right there. But long story short, I see this Lefty Gunplay exposed video, right? And I'm like, okay, let me see what they talking about. And it was a video by a cat. He got a channel called Homie Hangout. I've seen the channel and I'm familiar with it. I fuck with it. You know, it's a good channel. Complete good channel. I like what they stand for and I like what he about. And he ain't so much breaking down the dude's paperwork, but he's going over his arrest record, right? He going over the arrest record of all the times he's been arrested since he was an adult. And, you know, he ain't doing it maliciously by any means. You know what I mean? It ain't like he like, yeah, I got some dirt. Now we gonna knock him out of the game. Nothing like that, right? Nothing like that by any means. But he did it real honorably. And, you know, I know for a lot of these young cats, they feel like prison is an honor though. You know what I mean? Like, and I know I felt like it was just part of my future when I was young too. And I was like, I accepted it. It was just part of coming up and being who I was supposed to be or what I wanted to be or whatever the fuck was going on with me in my youth. And now, you know, I see this rapper right here. He had a lie about his penitentiary stint, even though he done been to the pen, even though he done shot up some shit, even though he keep a gun on him and all this shit, right? But he felt the need. He needed to get on the world stage and lie about all the shit he done did and how bad it really was. And you know what's even crazier is his record label and his people around him have known this and they allowed that, but in the name of fame, in the name of money, right? They bent the rules, you know what I mean? They bent the rules when it applied to them. And now here we are on YouTube discussing Lefty Gunplay being exposed.
Because people be on the internet whooping it all, da-da-da. Motherfucker, I did that time and I was really there. I hate that shit. I gotta get it right with you.
Okay, so you end up doing 13 years.
No, not altogether.
No, you got sentenced to 13 years, but you served 9.
85%.
There we go.
85%.
So now you're in state prison.
Yeah. SB 269, that's what the fuck it's called?
Okay.
SB 269, some shit like that. I don't give a fuck what fools say about that shit. I was in Pelican Bay, level 4. I was in Corcoran Shoe. I was in Wasco Hole. I was in Corcoran Shoe for a minute. 2016, I was in 482 Right. I was in A section and B section. Then I got shipped to Pelican Bay, and I was in D10. Right when everybody was getting kicked out, let me get it straight, because these people be saying shit about me. Right when I was getting kicked out, I went to Corcoran Shoe 2016. 2015, I was in Wasco Hole. This is shit in Wasco Hole, went to Corcoran Shoe. Corcoran Shoe, I was in there 2016, 482 Right. A side, got moved to B side, then did something there, got shipped to Pelican Bay Shoe. I was in Pelican Bay Shoe. I gotta get the dates right so they know. I was in Pelican Bay Shoe, D10. After that, the shoe was getting kicked out, so they sent me to C block. I was in C11. From C11, I got kicked out to the line, and I went to AR. Now they closed the shoe. That's the story.
So Lefty Gunplay, he didn't blow up by having skills, right? He ain't blow up because he a hard rapper and none of that shit. Nah, he blew up off his street fame, off his rep. He had just got out the penitentiary. He had started rapping, and you know, the whole story behind what he did, the name, the whole nine, right, is getting pushed by mainstream media, right? That's what mainstream media is gonna do. They're gonna push it. It's Hollywood, right? Hollywood, right? So, long story short, the man's story was he went on a couple platforms and said, you know, he did 13 years here. He went to this penitentiary here. He shot up a party and all this shit. You know, went to the pen, stabbed some people, did all the shit that you do when you a gangster, right? And you go to the penitentiary, right? That's what he did. So
Okay, so what did you get busted for?
For allegedly some shit at a party and shit, and they gave me 13 years with 85%. My dad got me a lawyer and everything. My dad stepped in, and that was a sweet deal, supposedly. And it really was, but it was cool. Yeah, I got 13 with 85. I went to a party. Some shit happened. I got busted that day at the party.
Oh, so
I've been in jail. That's cool. I don't even know who the fuck he is, dog. Like, I really don't. I just did 9 years in Pelican Bay, and I heard who he has signed. He has some artists and stuff. I wouldn't sign with him. You know what I'm saying? Just, I'd be a sellout.
So, lo and behold, this whole narrative is fake, right? He done did some shit, probably done shot up some shit, just ain't been arrested for it, praise God. But at the same token, this man felt like he needed to lie about that though, right? He needed to lie. So why did he feel like he needed to lie is the real question and concern, right? Why did he feel like he needed to lie? Why wasn't the crimes he was already convicted of, the petty theft, drugs, all that little shit right there? Why he feel like he needed to intensify those charges? So the cold reality to answer why he did that is basically because prison and jail is looked at as a badge of honor though. For a young cat coming up, especially when you're in the streets, that shit is looked at as a badge of honor right there, right? You know, the real are respected and been on those hard ass yards where, you know, only the strong survive and all that shit, right? But lo and behold, all your big homies, all these killers, all these gangsters, tough motherfuckers, right? The toughest of them all, they still bending over and coughing for a country bumpkin in the middle of nowhere. You know what I mean? I don't care how hard you is. They bending over, spreading them cheeks and coughing, having that man look up in their ass no matter what. But that shit is honorable and respected, right? That's what the culture, that's what the world at large will sit there and deem real, right? That's what we deem it real, especially when it comes to the culture, right? That's real. Man, if that's the biggest deception and lie the devil could ever sow anybody, is that is the place to be for a young man. By no means, young man, get out there and live your life, explore the world, make some money, do some shit with your life. Don't waste it back there hanging around other men 24/7 trying to figure out who's the toughest, right? Who's the most G, while you taking commands from some old country motherfucker telling you lock down, lights out at 10, you know, all kinds of shit. Bend over, cough, come in there, shake your cell down, look through all your life belongings anytime they want. Man, that shit is for the birds. And it's crazy because I sit back and look at Lefty Gunplay, and I know how many other people believe that type of shit though. Like, they really got to catch a body, they really got to go do this, they gonna whack out the ops, you know what I mean? They gonna catch a body. All these rappers, boy, they wouldn't survive years in those concrete fields by no means. I look at some of these rappers and hear them talking about these guns and all this trigger play, and I look at them, boy, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, they too light to fight, too thin to win. Just remember, you could say anything in a rap song, right? You could say anything in a rap song. You could bust your pistol anytime out here on the streets and get away. All it takes is that one time for you to lose your life and your entire freedom behind that action and that decision. You don't get your life back. When you stuck back there behind them, all them men 24/7 in them concrete cells, you're gonna be wishing you changed it up. But too bad you won't have another chance. That's the cold reality of that scenario. Come to find out though, all that shit was just for the image though, right? For the rap image. For the rap image for the world, so they can buy into this character that he's selling, right? It's like Comic-Con, right? Comic-Con, right? He got a character. He done became a character. He became the gangster, the hardest one. And I've never in my life seen a rapper that could come out and be open with his methamphetamine use. That shit is crazy. I be looking at this dude in interviews, seeing how feminine he be moving and how suspect he be looking. But yet, leave it to the streets. Streets gonna call that shit real, right? They gonna buy into that. That's the belief they gonna buy into completely. Hold up, I'm about to jump up in this car, and we gonna carry this conversation a little further though, for sure. Yeah, this park getting packed. Park's starting to get packed right now, but really though, why you think Lefty really had to feel like he needed to lie about his crimes though, right? They wasn't hard enough crimes for him, right? They wasn't, so he had to make up a narrative of how much time he done did, what crime he done did, where he went to the penitentiary, all this shit right here. Because, you know, at the end of the day, as a young man, you know, these young motherfuckers, I remember being one of them, so I can't be like extra hard on them, but like now I look at it with adult eyes. But being a gangster and all that shit, like that seems like it's the flyest shit out there, right? It seems like, yo, big homies is the coolest motherfuckers ever. If you got if you don't got no big homies, you're probably looking at up to a motherfucking entertainer or a rapper or neighborhood celebrity or something, right? But they be seeming like they the coolest, flyest, but they be, hey man, I tell you, when you get down this road of life, man, good Lord, that route right there, man, you should have just stuck in school and motherfucking learned out them books and became your own person in a lane where you could have made a gang of money. Because trading your life and your freedom out here to be behind a wall and kill fences and these motherfucking men 24/7, that shit is like being in hell right there. Who the fuck want to spend their life like that? And that's supposed to make you solid because you done did 20, 30 years. It be tripping me out. I be seeing these motherfucking YouTube channels on here with motherfuckers from prison and shit. And they trying to glamorize, they got a body or a murder or some shit. And it's like, man, you motherfuckers are still hoes though. You still a bitch though. I don't care if you got a body. I don't care. None of that shit. A lot of you motherfuckers that you still a hoe though. That ain't real, motherfucker. You killed a motherfucker and sat down. Now we supposed to give you some honor and rep. You don't even, motherfucker, if YouTube pulled these channels from a lot of these motherfuckers, they be going back to motherfucking who knows what, right? Back to surely McDonald's don't even want them no more. They got automated jobs right there. They don't even want a motherfucker up in there. So what is you know how hard it is for motherfuckers to get jobs as felons, especially when you got a murder? I got attempted murder, so I could imagine having a murder shit. But, you know, I guess I'm ranting when I say that shit because I be passionate about this shit though, you know what I mean? Being behind them walls and seeing how many motherfucking young cats be coming in year after year after year and threw their life away and bought into this deception that this motherfucking world will throw at you and have you feeling like this is what you were supposed to do or be about, or this was manhood or some shit like that. But this shit be the fakest, most fraudulent shit. And here's Lefty Gunplay. You think it's gonna damage his career? Fuck no, this shit ain't gonna damage. Motherfuckers that be entertained by this shit, they don't give a fuck. And half the people that listen to this shit ain't no real riders or gangsters neither. They just want the experience of some rider gangster music. You know what I mean? They ain't been on no missions. They ain't never been in no shootouts. They ain't never been none of that shit. But that's supposed to be what makes a motherfucker real. I'm saying that I'm kind of like contradicting myself, I guess, right? Because I'm kind of talking it like it's big and bad, but you know, at the end of the day, I come from an era where really motherfuckers was really on that gangster shit though. That's what be fucking me up in this era. It's like now it's like so many fucking Halloween, Comic-Con, WWF wrestler, you know, type of motherfuckers nowadays that be on this gangster shit. And I'm not even coming across like I'm some tough banger and none of that shit. Y'all know I ain't never got quoted. I was scared to get quoted, but quiet is kept, right? Quiet is kept. You know, I'm older now, and if my life ever served any purpose, I just hope some of these words land on the right ears, because your life will get thrown away trying to be this motherfucking character, right? Trying to be this gangster from the 80s or 90s. That shit done went and shit long gone. That shit's not coming back. And motherfuckers still trying to relive that character, trying to keep that culture alive. And I wonder, in 2025, I wonder if we will end that shit. If that shit really, if that stronghold will be broken a bit more, because it's been a long time coming and motherfuckers are wising up to this shit, right? They are wising up, right? But it's still entertainment, right? And entertainment, if it makes money, motherfuckers gonna do anything for the dollar, right? Motherfuckers is they gonna lie, cheat, steal, kill, the whole nine for some motherfucking money, some shit you can't even take with you after this life. And motherfuckers be so quick to throw this life away and do some crazy shit in this life, but we don't even know what comes after this life. That's the craziest part. We don't even know what comes after this life and what actions that we do here might do to us on that other side right there. But motherfuckers don't care because they don't know no better, right? But they ignorant. But a lot of motherfuckers do know better and they go against it. And I think that's when you really sin against yourself. I think you sin against yourself when you go against what you know is righteously in your heart. You feel me? But, you know, y'all let me know down in them comments why y'all think Lefty Gunplay and a bunch of these other rappers feel like they always gotta lie about who they are and their image. You know what I mean? What about it? Is it the culture of the penitentiary being real? Y'all let me know down there in them comments below. Let's talk about this shit. And y'all know the program. If y'all made it this far in the video, man, show your boy some love so we get out in that algorithm, and sub up if you ain't did all that, and I'll be back around next round.
Mr. Coleman, the court imposes a 5-year sentence on each weapons charge to run consecutive to all other sentences imposed in the case. With regard to the aggravated assaults, the gang charges, the criminal damage to property charges as to both defendants, it will be the sentence of the court that each defendant receives a sentence of 20 years imprisonment, and those sentences will run consecutive to each other and consecutive to the 5-year sentences, with this exception. To the extent that each defendant was convicted of aggravated assault as to a named victim and a gang charge as to a named victim, those sentences will run concurrent. So the net effect of the court sentences, as I do the math, is the court imposes a sentence of 320 years imprisonment as to Kingston Cotman and 320 years imprisonment as to Timothy Coleman. That's the judgment of the court. This matter is adjourned. Mr. Becker.